Hello everyone, welcome to Knowledge Hub. I hope you all are doing well. So in today's video, we will learn about procedural programming, problems of procedural programming, how to overcome these problems, what is object-oriented programming and its advantages. So without any further delay, let's start the video. Okay, so what is procedural programming? So it can be defined as a programming model which is derived from structure programming. So based upon the concept of calling a procedure. Procedure, simply you can say it is a routine, subroutine or function which consists of series of computational steps that can be carried out. So during a program execution, any given procedure might be called at any point, including by other procedures or itself. So the procedural programming basically follows the top-down approach, and the languages that used procedural programming are C, Fortran, Algol, COBOL, BASIC and Pascal. Next we have what are the problems of procedural programming. In procedural programming there are some problems that we basically face while developing a application. The first problem is reusability. So in procedural programming we need to write the same code or logic at multiple places, which increases the code redundant. So later if we want to change that logic, then we need to change at multiple places. The second one is extensibility. It is not possible in functional programming to extend the features of a function. Suppose you have a function and you want to extend it with some additional features, then it is not possible in structural programming. You have to create a completely new function and then change the function as per your requirement. Third one is simplicity. As extensibility and reusability are not possible in functional programming, so usually we end up with lots of functions and lots of scattered code. The fourth one is maintainability. As we don't have reusability, extensibility and simplicity in functional programming, so it is very difficult to manage and maintain the application code. So these are some of the problems that we face in functional programming. So next is how to overcome these problems. So we can overcome these problems by using the object-oriented programming approach. So OOPS provides some principle, and using those principles we can overcome these problems. So next, what is object-oriented programming? Object-oriented programming is a programming structure where programs are organized around the objects and data rather than action and the logic. OOPS is a design approach where we think in terms of real world objects rather than functions or methods. It follows bottom-up approach. OOPS provide 5 principles: classes and object, encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance and polymorphism. So we will cover these principles in more detail in our next video. So in next slide we have top-down approach. So what will happen in top-down approach actually? According to this approach, we are dividing our main problem into smaller tasks, and further these tasks are divided into further subtasks. So in this way we are solving a problem in top-down approach. So if I talk about in terms of C language, we are creating a main function to solve a particular problem. Then from the main functions we are calling multiple sub functions that perform a separate task. So in this way we are maintaining the top-down approach in C language. Next we have bottom-up approach. So in this approach the bottom level modules develop first. So it is just opposite to the top-down approach. So in this case what we do the lowest, or you can say the lower level module to be developed first, tested and debugged. Then we will move one step above, then resolve that particular module, develop, test it and debug. So in this way the process is continue until all the modules have been completed. This approach is good for reusability of the code. Summary. So what we have covered so far, we cover what is procedural programming, problems in procedural programming, how to overcome procedural programming problems, what is object oriented programming, what is top down approach, what is bottom up approach. So that's it in this video. Thanks for listening.